Hey y'all, how y'all doing? How y'all doing today? www.cdsempoweredjourneycoaching.com. Get you a booking today. Today. Not tomorrow. Today. Okay, today we have here my lovely husband. So we will be talking about how it is important to find the right spouse. So, what do you think about finding the right spouse?
That's very important. I mean, in order to try to build something, I mean, it depends on what. Are you just dating, or are you dating for like trying to get married long term, or religious background? What does that say about how do you date? Because that dictates how you move as far as dating. I mean, it's really serious because that's like the biggest. They say the two biggest decisions you're gonna make is your religion and who you gonna spend the rest of your life with. So finding the right mate is very important. What you think about it?
I would say finding the right mate is very important so you can balance each other out. What I'm not good at, he's good at. What he's not good at, I'm good at. So I think that basically you balance each other. And I think that's very important to have that type of mate. So when we say it's important to have that type of mate, what are some qualities that you think that they should have?
It's hard to say, but everybody's definition of a perfect relationship or whatever a working relationship is different because it's based off what your life showed you, how your mom interacted with your dad, grandparents. So everybody's is different. I think it's like I think it's got to be a common ground, like what you kind of want your life to be, and like you try to base your mate around that. Like if you want, if you're a woman that wants to be a homebody, or you know you're a homebody, you're not gonna really want a guy that's run the streets. It's like similarities. Like you try to get as close to you can and what you want your life to be. I think like I know like as far as like for my career path, I know it'll require like a woman that's okay with staying at home and having the kids and stuff like that. So I would have to find a mate that meets those qualities. But it's so hard to say because we've been together so long.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how you got to grow together too. Like you got to have a mate that you can grow with because you can't always be like what you are now might not always suffice what you have to be. Like the 20-year-old version of you and the 30-year-old version, you're gonna be two different people. But that's gonna be two different versions of your mate too. So y'all gotta like be willing to grow, love each other enough to grow and stuff like that. I think it's tricky because like at what age, like from a woman's perspective, at what age do you think a girl should start considering like being serious in a relationship, like a woman nowadays? What age do you think a woman should be like, you know what? No more free kitty cat. It's time to wrap this thing up. How do you what kind of age would you put on that? 'Cause I think that's important because we met each other young, like
Yes,
very young.
that's right. We was young when we met each other, and
So we grew up together.
that's right.
We avoided a lot of stuff that people go through with today,
That's right.
social media and stuff.
I would say that now, what to do now with what I see now, is to really basically focus on you and let him find you.
What if you done got to you 27, 28, he ain't found you? I mean, do you?
You know what? I'm gonna say what I will tell my daughter. I will tell her to date. Date. You won't have to sleep with him, but date.
But it ain't gonna be. I mean, keep it a buck. It ain't gonna be many dates without sleeping.
But that's when you know that he ain't the one. If he can't wait, if he can't wait for it, you don't need him anyway.
You gotta be careful with that too, because most of the time the guys that wait, from my experiences of life, the only guys that can wait is that's got something going on.
Right. That's something else.
That's the only way you ain't gotta have it from
That's
her.
right. But that's where your relationship that you have to have with God, so you have discernment, because God gonna expose it. If you have a relationship with Him, He's going to expose what they're doing.
So how long do you wait? I mean, what is the threshold? How long do you have to date before you're serious? How long? I mean, what are you telling my daughter?
I will say be closer to God, and let Him guide you, and let Him show you. Because sometimes when we go off our own understanding, it don't be right.
No, I agree with that.
So we have to let Him do it. We have to let Him guide us and give us direction. Because we always had them wolf in sheep clothing that we don't know about. So that's why I said this in this day and time, it's a lot of them. So you have to have a relationship with God. I would tell my daughter, stay close to God and let Him bring him to her this day and time.
That's not bad advice. But the right mate thing is no two relationships are alike. So
no, and like a lot, and I don't like this too. A lot of people always compare relationships.
It's hard not to with social media.
That's right, but
if you sit in the house all the time, and then they always going out, you want to go out because you see everybody else out.
But still, you have to take in consideration: does that man have the funds? Maybe that man does have the funds.
I want to explore another option.
Okay.
How about we get off? How about you get off of if mentally social media is called a discrepancy in your relationship to where you're doing these comparisons and it's stealing your joy. Let's get off of it.
Yeah.
Why that? I never hear anybody say that to I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that. But nobody said, just deactivate the joint for a month. Get yourself in the right headspace so you look at things clearer.
But if you are somebody that love to build, which I understand, you have to get off of it because it is a lot of negativity. It is a lot of lies on it. It is because a lot of people ain't keeping it real on this social media stuff.
No, they show when little Johnny got all A's, but you didn't show when little Johnny got all F's at the end of conduct.
That's right.
So I mean,
that's right. So you do. I understand what you're coming from that. But I'm also saying that if you are on that social media and you do have a spouse, everything is different. Like some households, the man pay all the bills. Some households, they go 50-50. But that's just their situation. Everybody's situation is not the same. And people have to realize that. Just because your situation is a certain way, don't mean everybody's situation has to be the same way. And that's what I think. That's what I think that's what's really like going on with the relationship thing. That how people like to give advice and they ain't in a relationship. A lot of people say, well, you can't get advice from people who are not in a relationship. That goes both ways. It could, especially if they got good intentions. And now if they got good intentions and they are showing you how to keep a man, then you might. But 9 times out of 10, a person that's not in a relationship, they giving you advice, they really gonna tell you to leave that man. They're not gonna say stick it out and work on your relationship. They're gonna tell you to leave them. So what do you think?
I'm just listening because it's sad because men and women's relationship advice is so different. Ain't none of my homeboys never told me to leave. Out of everything, it was always constructive criticism to where, you know what I'm saying, Jay, figure out whatever, how you can fix it, what you got to do, yada, yada, yada. It was never leave her. But you can't say the same. It's always going to be leave him for some reason.
Yeah. See, a lot, because what that said is because a lot of women
left.
A lot of women left.
So they give me that, that left advice.
Also, a lot of women, I know a lot of women where I went to them and I said and I talked to them, and some things that I told them, they would be like, why are you saying it? Or basically, they didn't want me to take accountability for my actions.
Who does? How do you get there? That's great you bring that up.
What?
How do women get there? Because a lot of them not there.
How do they get to
take accountability and saying, I caused this, that, whatever, I need to do this better. I could be a better wife, girlfriend, baby mama.
I'm going to tell you the honest God's truth. You got to have God. You got to have God. You cannot be walking in flesh.
So it all goes back to the beginning. You know, when I asked my grandparents, they have been married 70 years, how do they do it? And they say you got to put God first.
Yes, you got to. And I mean, when it all said and done, you have to put God in your relationship, because if you walking in flesh, you will make decisions
based on the flesh.
Oh, the flesh, and it be wrong decisions. But when you walking in spirit, and also that I learned too, when I used to like blame my husband for things, or I would be mean to him for things. What I learned was when I started to talk to God and pray, God didn't show me my husband's wrongdoings. He showed me my wrongdoings, what I was doing wrong, and what I should have done better. And
how did that make you feel?
At first, I was a little upset. You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to keep it real. I was a little upset at first.
I'm glad you said it. So the reason why I asked you is because women, and I'm not trying to target them, I'm just keeping it a buck. They will be the first ones to say, they've always told me this. I grew up with 3 women in the house. I've always heard, you got to talk. Communication is the key. But when you show them where they're wrong, then they're mad.
Yeah.
So how can communication be the key when I can't tell you?
That's right.
You can tell me about that bag of trash I left on the back porch, but I can't tell you about the dishes that you didn't wash.
But see, that's where it comes in, where it's flesh. We go off of flesh, like. But when you go to God,
so what will you tell the viewer that's struggling with that you can't? They feel like they're being attacked every time you try to help them. Like baby, let me sit there and talk to you about whatever, and then she just blows up. You know how it is, flips it.
I will say that love is correction.
That's good.
Love is not always them butterflies and that fairy tale that everybody talks about. That's not love. We have to get that out of our head. That's not love. Love is correction. Love is uncomfortable conversations.
Growth.
Love is growth. Love is accountability. Love is admitting that you were wrong. Like, husband, what I said today, that was wrong. I apologize.
And, to elaborate on that, if I say something that's wrong, don't let it just go over. Let the days build and stack up. thinking
Yes.
I know I was wrong.
That's right.
If I thought I was wrong, I wouldn't have said it.
That's
I
right.
thought it was right when I said it. That's why I said it.
That's
But you're
right.
gonna say, baby, look, I don't like how you said that earlier, or whatever have you. And that's how you're gonna see what kind of man you got.
That's right.
Is he gonna respect those boundaries that you just put in place? Or is he gonna continue to be, the man that you don't think he should be because of what he's saying to you? So it's like it's a respect factor.
That's right. And I'm not gonna lie. I used to be weird to the point that I thought he was a mind reader. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes us women do that. But a lot of times when we feel that way, it comes from our environment we grew up in.
But I'm gonna tell you something too. That's not fair. So now I'm sitting at home with you. You mad at me, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm responsible for fixing it.
That's right.
I might well be by myself
That's right.
because I can't fix it. I don't know. I didn't know I broke, and I didn't know it was broke. So it's like, and then you can't let it go on, like, because you'll forget about it. Then like 2 weeks later, it'll piss you off again. It'll linger like that. And then I'm like, what the hell going on? Because
you said this 5 days ago.
And I don't even remember it.
It be like that. It do.
That is stupid,
It
though.
be like that, and and I'm gonna tell you something. Like, we have been together for 20 years, and this is some things that I had to learn as a woman in the relationship. Like, I had to learn these things. It comes with growth. You don't get it just because you got two people coming together that are from different environments, and they have to make it work because you are a product of your environment. So when you come from how you grew up and then how he grew up, we have to come together and we have to make it work. And how I came up, it wasn't no communication. It was no communication. So when he comes to me communicate, I'm like,
yeah,
whoa, I'm like, ooh.
How I was brought up, it was open communication. Like, if somebody thought your food wasn't good, if you do right then, if whatever you said, you didn't like it, nigga double back and came back in the room on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was always, that's my comfort place too, because I know where we stand. Like, me and my brother, sister, anything, we don't have any issues because when she pissed me off, I told her.
Yeah.
And then she respected me enough to say, well, let me not do that to him no more.
See, with us, we'll go and hold grudges, and we wouldn't talk to each other. So, me coming from that, I have to break them things. I have to work on stuff like that. And it's not easy. It's not easy to work on stuff like that because you were raised in it. It's not, now I'm not using it as an excuse because I'm breaking them things, but you have to unlearn.
And another thing about, having conversations, I think is very important. You're not going to break 100% of your past upbringing.
No, you're not.
So when you communicate it out, I know this certain character trait stems from that. Mm-hmm. And I know what to do not to awaken that beast, because we have sides of us that should be left alone.
That's right.
And they can be left alone. But if I don't educate you on it, like for instance, if my mom always, yelled at me to the top of her lungs over the smallest stuff, and it made me feel a certain type of anger, when you do that, you left this cup on the table and you took me back to like 8, 9 years old. So
that's right.
But you got to communicate those things out. That way, when you converse about it, like, let me not do this because I know how it. Like when I said shh, you get back.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it because like stuff like that bothers me. Like telling me to be quiet and stuff. See, that stuff like that bothers me because like it was one time where I couldn't talk at all. Like I had to be silent. So,
but if you don't communicate that out, then I do it. Then you mad. I don't know why. And then it boils over. Then you say something, and I say something now, I'm downstairs, you up here, and then we back. And
That's
we
right.
don't even know all the reason why we mad.
We don't know why.
You don't like when somebody do that to you.
That's
You never
right.
said it.
And they never said it. That's right. That's right. And that's the stuff I had to learn. I had to learn to be open.
I think you know they'll some viewers might look at the whole video and say, well, they're just talking about her problems, and it's a reason for that because the man's job is to lead. You can't act like her if you're gonna lead.
That's right.
So you got to learn all of those character flaws, emotional traits, everything about her in order to know how to guide her in the right direction. My flaws and things revolve around yours. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to cater to your stuff first, I feel like. And it helps me manage my own by doing so. It's like a revolving door. That's why when you talk about, this is a totally different subject, but it could all go in the same video. How do you feel about a woman building up a man? It's a revolving door because, baby, all you're doing is building up a second income that's coming in your house.
That's right.
I mean, or what if he leave? Well, at least your children's father will have a stable dad that could get him some stuff for Christmas, can do some back to school stuff. He can stay with them. They'll have a room over there. You got to look at the big boy side of it. You can't look at the selfish side of it. Like, I'm gonna keep him minimized, so I have more than him. I can talk to him a certain kind of way. But if something happens to you, then he's unable to provide.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
you know, it's like
You have to be open minded. Like
be
with this
very
stuff, you
open-minded.
got to be really open minded. That's why really you have to have God in it, and you don't need to be like being intimate or anything with a man unless you're married, because
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was gonna say that earlier when we were talking about comparisons. See, God knew what comparisons do to creatures. That's why He wanted you to have a one mate. There's no comparison. That's gonna be the best 2 inches you ever had, because that's the only thing you've ever. But that's the only thing you've ever. We gotta make it look funny, but that's the only thing you've never known. What do you have to compare it to? You don't have anything to compare it to.
no,
So that's where we messed up.
that's right.
I was gonna leave it right there.
All right, y'all. I hope y'all like this video. Tune in. Tap in. This is it will be Husband Thursdays, where we will sit down and we will talk, have a couple talk with y'all to know what to look for in a man and what to look for in a woman. So I love y'all, and y'all have a great day. Bye.